There's already one person there. Remember, chat. Hello. Is that you breathing hard?
No, it's Scottie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did you tweet that it was live?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't tweet out the link, but I said I was going live.
Just now or earlier?
Just now.
Oh. Well, no one wants to join us.
Well, here's the baby. Molly has the baby. Scottie.
Should I test it out? What are you doing?
I was seeing if there was any options for anything. So, anyway, we're here with a brand new baby.
I'm gonna check.
Oh, you know what happened? Well, sometimes you have to hit public, right?
No, I put it on public.
Oh.
No, it's live.
Oh, wow.
I'm watching us watching us.
So,
Creepy.
anyway, yeah. Wanted to come on because we've been in the hospital for the last 3 days. Trapped. No, we have a good hospital. And we had a little baby girl. Molly put in a lot of hard work. I put in hard work. It wasn't easy. But Scottie, Lou, is here.
There was one question on Twitter from when you said you were gonna go live.
Mm-hmm.
Describe the process for a cesarean, wise guy.
I don't even know what a cesarean.
A C-section.
Oh.
I didn't have a C-section either time. So.
Yes, she didn't have a C-section either time, so I didn't have to go into my notes for that. We learned that in school.
Oh, I get it because you said you're basically a pediatrician. Pediatrician doesn't even do a C-section.
I know.
An OB does.
I will give Molly a lot of credit. She does know a lot about pregnancy. She did her research. She did her homework. She listened to podcasts, and just did all the homework necessary to bring this baby into the world. So I said this on an interview I just did with a young kid from Utah State that it was pretty surreal this past weekend having a baby. Well, we had the baby on Monday, and
Chad.
And it was pretty emotional for me just because of the whole Kobe Bryant situation and his daughter and other young girls and parents on the helicopter that crashed. So there's a lot of emotions of that while bringing a baby into the world. So it was exciting, but it was also were you ever nervous?
What, giving birth?
Yeah. Or just the process leading up to it. I mean,
It's always
last time we had Nick's, we went to the hospital. Molly's water broke in the middle of the night. And we got to the hospital. They put her in a room and they were monitoring the baby's heart. And the heart rate dropped. And a whole bunch of nurses ran into the room and it was pretty scary. So this time, I don't know, did you have any feelings? Nervous or anything, or were you just you knew everything was going to be okay? Because it's scary. I mean, it's such precious thing.
Yeah, I was more nervous about the labor because I didn't want an epidural.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really nervous about that.
We had done classes. We watched a YouTube video of some lady.
Yeah, I made Corin watch a lot of stuff, listen to a lot of stuff so he could support me.
I fell asleep through it one time. Molly got pretty upset at me.
Yeah. So I was really nervous about that and the pain and how to deal with all that. But once Scottie was born, I won't tell everyone the details here, but Corin wasn't in the room when Scottie was born, and she wasn't crying or breathing or anything, and I was freaking out because I couldn't see her. Corin wasn't there, so that really scared me.
Just to clear the air, let me tell you why I wasn't there. So Molly had a plan. Molly and I had a plan that she wasn't going to get an epidural. So for people that don't know, an epidural is what, like a shot in your spine?
Yeah, it's like a catheter that goes in your spine to numb you from the legs, like down, so you can't feel the contractions. So I guess higher than legs, like you can't feel the contractions in your uterus. So that's the epidural. But I had a lot of side effects after it. Last time with Nick's, I had an epidural, and I had a lot of numbness in my legs for like 8 weeks, and I didn't want to experience that again, and it like really freaked me out. So I didn't want to get an epidural this time. So
That was the goal going in. And for a lot of the guys that don't know, and maybe the women who aren't yet pregnant or have never had a baby, I don't know the feeling, but I think Molly has a pretty high pain threshold and is super tough and mentally strong where she can talk herself out of something. But the first time we had Nick's, she had to get the epidural. And like I said, or like she said, her leg was numb postpartum for about 8 weeks. And this time, sorry, I'm so tired that it's
yeah, you're
just
like
my.
not telling the story. You're like going off on a tangent.
Okay, so we had a
Yeah, you
plan.
just repeated everything I just said about my leg going numb for 8 weeks.
So we had the plan to not get the epidural.
Okay, so what happened this time?
So we're in the hospital. We got to the hospital at around what, 6 in the morning?
I was getting induced. We got to the hospital at 5:45 in the morning. They started me on the meds at like 8:30. Broke my water.
Thanks, Cole.
Whatever. But then I got to a point where I was like, I don't think I can do this. And like I was at like a 5 pain tolerance, and I went to like off the chart in a matter of like seconds. Like I was managing it well for hours.
She was doing well, so she had a little face mask. And sorry, sometimes superheroes need their sidekick to step in and
that
help
is-
tell a story a little bit. All right, I'm struggling right now. I need to pick me upper. So every time Molly would get a contraction, she had this eye patch that she would put on her eyes, so I would know to maybe shut up, get out of the way, and not
Get me a cold towel.
get a cold towel.
whatever.
Just be supportive for everything that
Yeah.
she needed. She was doing well up until around like 4:30, and it started to really get intense. So she had this spot in the bathroom. She sat on the toilet, which was comforting
I
to her.
wasn't going to the bathroom.
You
I
weren't
was
you weren't
just-
going
I
on,
was
yeah, it was just
sitting
comforting to
there.
sit on the toilet. So I was with her the whole time. We were trying different strategies and techniques that we had learned in classes that we took. And at around 4:45 or 4:40, Molly said she wanted to get the epidural. So I tried to fight her a little bit on it and said, "You sure?" She said, "I tried my hardest. It's the right thing to do." So last time you have to at this hospital where we're at, you have to leave the
Let
room.
me just back up because Corin's not good at telling this story. So they checked me, and I was only 4 centimeters dilated. You have to be 10
Yeah,
to have
so,
a baby. So I said, let me see
It's-
how far along I am, and then I'll decide if I'm going to get that epidural. So at like 4:40, they check me. I'm at 4 centimeters dilated. So I was like,
Still
you know
laughing
what?
at Cole's comment.
I'm going to get the epidural. So at my hospital, they make the partner leave the room for the epidural. So I asked my nurse how long it would take for the anesthesiologist, and they said 10 minutes and he would be up. So I said, okay, Corin, go grab food at the cafeteria while I'm getting this, because I knew he was hungry. And and then when you get back, I'll have the epidural. So
I had about 15-20 minutes. Was
yeah,
like
to
what,
go do that.
Last time I left the hospital, I went to Chipotle and
Corin, let's just finish the story.
I'm just
because you're
I'm-
jumping all
okay,
over, and
okay.
it's like all over the place. Okay, if you want to tell the story, let's just finish the story, and I'll just
It
finish
leads
it
up,
and
it leads
speed
up.
through it.
It-
Okay?
no, you don't speed
No,
through
of the
it.
details, and then you can tell the punchline of the story of why you weren't at the
no
birth.
punchline.
There's a punchline of why you weren't at the birth. So I told Corin
I'm
to
sorry.
go get his food. So now at 4:50, he leaves the room. My doctor comes in, checks me again because I'm screaming in pain, and they say, okay, now you're at a 6. Corin is still gone, and I was screaming my head off, bloody murder. The anesthesiologist walks in at 4:59, and I was screaming in so much pain. So my nurse calls my doctor back in, and they said I was crowning and the baby was coming Corin only left 10 minutes ago.
I left at
and
4:50. I remember checking my phone at 4:50 because I was gonna come back in 20 minutes. I went down, so the lower level has a cafeteria. That was closed. Walked up to the cafe, and I stayed there till 5:11. And then 5:11, I'm walking back up to the room, and I see one of the nurses from our floor. She stops me mid in the hallway, and she said my last name, but she said, Corin, your wife had the baby 20 minutes ago. Or your wife just had a baby 20 minutes ago. And literally, like, I'm gonna hear that in my brain for the rest of my life. Like, I know what this lady looked like, and I just have this moment so vividly of her stopping me in the hallway. Like, it almost feels like a dream. Like, when she told me, I was like, no, it's not, like, true. But then I booked it upstairs because I was like, it is true. My wife had a baby and I just missed it. And like just ran in the room. Like, luckily I remembered what room it was, because if I like had just booked it into some other random room and it was some lady like mid push and I'm like running in the room like I'm Kramer or something like that, it would have been a terrible experience for her, for her husband. He'd probably been like, who's this dude? Maybe he cheated on me or something. But I picked the right room. I ran into it, and I saw the baby already on the table that they
Warmer
put,
thing,
like the
yeah.
warmer table. We had a whole plan that the cord was gonna get cut 3 minutes into it, and obviously I was
The
I
doctors
was
had to
12.
cut the
I was
cord.
like 12 minutes already past the cut time.
Yeah, but to be fair, while I was like,
It's
that
almost a
was-
blessing in disguise, because from what I heard, Molly was like on her side, screaming,
Yeah.
like at the top of her lungs, like telling the nurses, like not listening to the nurses' orders. They're like,
Well, I'll
Molly,
just-
you have to calm down. So, I will say, if I was in there, it probably would have been bad for me. I would have because I was ready to take pictures when the baby was out. You're allowed to record. I was ready to like video. I had it all set up. So if Molly was bugging out, I probably would have gotten yelled at, cursed at.
Yeah.
Camera would have gotten broken. So it's almost better that I missed all of that, because I'd be like,
So, to be fair, the nurse, myself, my doctor, no one thought that was going to happen. And that is why I was like managing the pain really well and like sticking to our plan. And then it just went from 0 to 100 really quick, and no one expected that. So it wasn't like Corin left when we knew the baby was coming. Like, nobody, I was only 4 centimeters and you have to get to 10. And
what up, Sofa King?
the baby just like came. Like, I wasn't even like pushing. The baby just like, my body just did it. And the nurse was telling me to calm down and stop screaming, and I was screaming at the top of my lungs like bloody murder, and they kept telling me to lay down, and I was like screaming in their faces that I wasn't gonna
And
lay
here's
down.
like,
And I didn't get that epidural, so my whole birth plan wishes all
except for
really-
me being in the room.
Yes, and while that was happening, I was trying to call him, screaming, like I was screaming for Corin.
So when you
And-
get to the hospital, Molly even told me this right when we arrived. She was like, "There's no service in this hospital," because her phone automatically locked into the Wi-Fi, because that's also where your like a pediatrician or something, or the doctor is there.
My OB is there,
So the
I
OB
saw
is
her
there.
for a
So
whole
her phone already
pregnancy.
locked into the Wi-Fi off the jump, and she had told me there's no service in here. So when I'm down in the cafeteria, she said she was trying to call me.
Yeah, you had like 12 minutes. Like, my phone shows it. Not one call went to you. Because
And
I was calling
yeah.
you the whole time before and after, while she's like not breathing and they're trying to like get her to breathe. I'm like calling you because I'm like freaking out because I can't see anything. And I can't even believe what just happened. And the baby's right here. And I was just calling and it wasn't going through. So after they got the baby breathing is when the nurse went to go find him, and then the
I
baby
felt
was already
guilty
born.
because I'll tell you what I got. I got a cheeseburger, and they had a very good potato like Kaiser bun on it. It was really good. And I was so hungry, and I also feel a little bad. This part makes me feel a little bit guilty, because I was like, you couldn't eat, and you were telling me that you were super
I
hungry.
was so hungry, and I tried to eat something. And Corin was like, just listen to the doctors. I was like, they won't know. Just give me the food.
And I was like pretty adamant that I was not
Would
going to give
not
it to
let
her.
me eat.
So when she told me to leave and get food, I almost was like, I was walking down the steps to the cafeteria first, which was closed, and I was like, let me not get some food because if Molly can do this, then I can do this. But then the cafeteria was closed, and it sort of got me a little angry and I more mad. So I went to the cafe, and I saw they had hamburgers, and they were only like $3.69 for like a cheeseburger, and it looked like diesel, and the package was like a cheeseburger, chips, and a soda, all for like $5.50 or something, like a super good price. So I was like, let me just do this. So I got the whole meal, sat down and ate it. I was actually watching one of Kyle's videos, and I feel bad because as I'm probably biting into the cheeseburger or eating some kettle barbecue chips,
losing my mind.
she's losing her mind. Like I compared it to like one of these murder crazy action films where it's like they're nonstop like shooting each other with guns, and then the person steps into an elevator for a second and the doors close and it's like the elevator music, very calm and peaceful, and you know everything's relaxed, and then the doors open back up and it's just chaos again. So like if there was a split screen or if there was a documentary or a movie being taken place on Monday, it would have shown me like with the elevator music, eating my sandwich, watching Kyle's video, having some chips and a soda while Molly's bugging out on the other screen. So like it was just it was just crazy.
Yeah.
But you know the baby came
Yeah.
and I came in the room and I apologized to Molly, and I really thought as I'm running up the stairs, this is gonna be like I'm never gonna live this down. Molly's
No.
gonna like be
Yeah.
mad at me forever. Like my daughter's gonna resent me because I wasn't in the room. And all I heard was because I travel a lot for work from Molly. It was like all I kept hearing as I'm running up the stairs is like, would you want to miss your daughter's pregnancy, or would you want to miss your daughter's birth?
Because he was gonna travel like on our due date, and I was like, you cannot. You cannot.
So I kept hearing her say
Yeah.
like, how would you feel if you missed your daughter's birth? How would you feel? So I'm running up the stairs, booking
I
it,
didn't
thinking
even
all
think
of
of
this
that.
stuff. I'm like, how would you feel if you missed your daughter's? Like it's running through my mind as I know this lady downstairs just told me my wife had given birth 20 minutes ago. So I got in the room and I just looked at Molly and was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, oh, it's okay. And it looked like a genuine, like, it's okay. Like,
Yeah.
you know. So that made me
'Cause
feel a little bit better.
I never, ever in my life imagined that would happen. Like, 440, when they checked me or whatever, I was 4 centimeters dilated, and I had the baby at 502. Like, within,
I would have felt a lot worse.
like,
and here,
that time,
to get back to the Chipotle, last time when we had Nick's, Molly did get the epidural, and you had to, at this hospital, you have to leave the room.
Yeah.
You have to leave the room for like 15, 20 minutes or something like that because, I don't know, what do you think the
because they
reasoning
said
for that
a
is?
lot of partners pass out because of the procedure. Like, it's
Oh,
a
like I
giant
pass
needle.
out?
Yes.
Oh.
It's a giant needle. It goes in the back. It's like a whole thing. So they make you leave the room. So when we had
To get back
Nick's,
to the Chipotle.
you
Yeah, so I left the room because it was going to be 20 minutes. She wasn't even close to 10, and I was hungry. So I left the hospital. I went to Chipotle,
Yeah.
ate there, I think,
yeah.
came back, and it was still like an hour or two until you had the baby.
Oh no! When I had Nick's, it was still like 4 hours.
Oh, it was still a while. So
Yeah.
so this time she at least said, you know, just don't leave the hospital. So I would have felt a lot worse if I had not been in the hospital.
And it's like
when
I
my
almost
daughter
like
was born.
subconsciously knew something was going on because my pain level like went nuts in a matter of minutes. I was like, don't leave the hospital, just go downstairs. But I didn't think I would have the baby in 20 minutes. Like, that's just...
I also blame the nurse a little bit, too. Like, she should have known.
Because she said, she's like, when you kept
She
saying...
admitted this later.
She goes, when you kept saying I can't do it anymore, and you, like, were really struggling, I had a feeling. And I was like, you had a feeling? Why did you let him go?
I know.
I didn't have a feeling. I just thought, like, it was
And granted, I
getting
left the room
intense.
sort of, like, quick.
Yeah.
Like, I should have waited till the anesthesiologist came in.
He walked in right after you left.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I feel like...
No, he didn't come in right after you
That's
left.
what I'm saying.
The doctor came in right after
Because you were
left.
still
Yeah.
you were still sitting, like, in your spot in the bathroom
When you left.
when I left.
Because I was on the...
Because you didn't even make it to the bed yet.
They were trying to get me to move. I just couldn't move. Like, she was like, Molly, I need you to go over there. I was like, I cannot. The
So
baby's name is Scottie, by the way.
so Scottie, yeah, I don't know. So we went with Scottie because Molly had originally came to. She sent me a text or something that was like, "What do you think of the name Scotland?" And I was like, "Absolutely not," which is surprising because I told someone else that I know, and he was like, "I actually don't mind Scotland."
Well, you were with Kyle at Politicon, and I texted you, and I was like, not even really being serious because we like hadn't been able to decide on a name, and I was like, what about Scotland and we can call her Scottie? And he was like, I don't like Scotland, but I like Scottie. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that. But
So we went with Scottie. I thought it worked well because it was basketball.
I got a feeder.
Basketball referenced. Feed her on camera. It was basketball referenced. Our other daughter's name is Nyx, which is pretty basketball centric. Scottie Pippen was famous in Chicago. Our daughter was born in Chicago.
Yeah, but I didn't like say that name because of anything with Chicago.
No, I know, but it just ended up working out well that way. So went with Scottie, who is my mother's middle name, and my father's initials are
Braxton Hicks
SLC.
was actually our second choice.
Braxton Hicks. So this is a Scottie Beanie Baby little terrier, and I picked this up. Just came on eBay today, $4. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. But it's spelled KNICKS.
KS.
So yeah, so then we stayed in the hospital for a couple extra days. The nurses were super nice. We gave them donuts every morning, and I think they appreciated that because they were, they were helpful.
I feel like when you have a baby, sending food is always nice, and then like for the people who like take care of you, so like the nurses, we got them donuts and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
just showing them some appreciation. But yeah, we were there for a couple days. Now we're back home. Nyx met Scottie. That was awesome. I tweeted out a couple things and people showed love. It was awesome seeing the support from people because it wasn't easy for us. Molly put a video up that she compiled together over all of her times going to different doctors and taking shots and the experience we had of finding out that we were having a baby and then the sad news of learning that the baby wasn't how would you
Who?
explain
What baby?
it?
This baby or the
No,
miscarriage?
the miscarriage.
Oh yeah, you just found out we had a miscarriage.
That's what I'm saying. So like it wasn't easy for her. She was recording all of this stuff, going to her meetings with doctors and stuff, and learning about this stuff. We went when we did find out that we were pregnant, and when we went to that, we met with the doctor.
What, when we found out we were pregnant with Scottie?
Yeah, but like she had even said, there was still like a little bit of gray area doubt.
Yeah.
Until we definitely knew that it did have a heartbeat and stuff. So it's not easy, man. It's like there's so much joy that happens on the actual pregnancy day, but leading up to it, it's a long process that is like the culmination when the baby comes. So if you haven't seen Molly's video, I would suggest checking it out because she took a lot of time to put that together.
Yeah, but hopefully now that I'm not pregnant, I can help Corn more with his YouTube again because it was really a struggle for me during pregnancy to do anything with YouTube because obviously we have Nyx. And
shout out to Adrew for holding me down with cover photos for my chats.
Because he's been really helpful, and like when we come home from work, Nyx is my focus, and then after that I just wanted to sleep. So hopefully, obviously with a new baby, you're really tired and stuff, but hopefully I can help Corn more with his vlogs and stuff. There's a couple that I helped him edit. And then he can do more and whatever.
And Adrian, I will say, is super supportive because even when I have, and I feel bad because some of the videos I do on the computer, I don't add the intro that you made for me just because I don't know how to send the video to my iMovie, which I can add the intro in the
No,
beginning.
because our Mac computer that you do for those is like from 20.
It's like, yeah,
It's super old, and we do everything else on HP, which is like where I put in Adria's video. But
I don't
it's
pay
hard
Andrew,
on
and
the.
I appreciate his help and support. I text him a picture of somebody I do a chat with and say, hey, would you mind just throwing a graphic on there like chat with Corin and then the name. So I mean, the graphics that he does is amazing. I try to go in his chat all the time, his live stream. I even went on the Twitch one, which was hard for me to do, to go over there and check that out. But always when you're on YouTube, I'm in there. So yeah, and he'll be back on the chat with Corin. We'll do another chat.
Tasteless, I missed you so much. Like, thank you for coming back.
What do you say?
And
Or her
just
say?
joining the chat and being super friendly and awesome. It's really
Tasteless
lovely.
opinion?
Really lovely to see you here.
Tasteless, if you do anything, we could use your help as well, man, besides just your salty opinions.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you should change your. Well, I mean, Tasteless Opinion is.
No,
a good
I think
name.
I'm a fan of Tasteless Opinion. I think sometimes he keeps us on our toes, or her. Sorry, I don't know if it's a his or her. But I appreciate the honesty. Sometimes, me and Molly will do a Molly's Mind, and I'm just killing it on a point, and you'll be in the chat comment section letting Molly know that she's either wrong
You're
or
not
she rolls her eyes,
You're not
or
usually killing it on a point.
sometimes I am, and Tasteless knows. Tasteless knows the deal. Tasteless will say like, "Corin, you look tired," and he knows when I'm tired. Tasteless, I don't really think Tasteless ever says anything out of pocket, out of line.
He says things out of pocket, out of line.
He never does anything to cross the line, though.
I could go back.
Sometimes, maybe he was having a bad day or something like that. But Tasteless, you're okay in my book.
That's because he's nice to you.
He's critical of you because he wants you to be better, as I am as well. You could have still been editing videos. It's going above and beyond. Which you
Excuse me?
didn't necessarily go above and beyond while you were pregnant.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
See, I am nice to Molly as well.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Corin told me that he thinks giving birth is like not as painful as when he has a really bad stomach ache. Like if you've ever listened to
not
Corin,
a
hold on.
stomach ache.
When
It's
you've
one of those
ever-
stomach pains that's
like Corin has
next
talked
level.
about on the Kyle and Corin podcast when he talks about when he eats like fast
Sometimes-
food and you get the
sometimes I'll mix,
stomach ache that's really bad and he like lays on the floor. He thinks that is worse than giving birth. Okay, like who?
I will say
you were
sometimes-
such a baby. That is not even like comparable.
For every
a baby just came out of my body.
Tasteless, get at her, man. There are some times where there's a certain combo of foods that if you mix the
That's
wrong
not
stuff,
ever going to be worse than childbirth. I have heard.
I didn't see you.
I have
in
heard
your,
kidney stones are worse than childbirth. My mom has birthed 4 kids without an epidural, and she also had kidney stones, and she said those are as painful. So if you have kidney stones, then you could let me know.
You know what I'm fascinated by? Sometimes you meet some people that I was at an event. It was a football event, and these 4 guys came up to a booth I was at, and one of the guys seemed totally normal, and the other guys were like, he just peed out.
Constipation is not worse than childbirth.
Yeah.
Okay?
Bacon strips. Bacon strips.
Bacon strips. Do you have kids?
Chill with that one. That one. So anyway, the guy had just peed out 2 or maybe more kidney stones, and he was walking around and up and at him. But
Where is this?
and it sounds disgusting, but I think he was holding the kidney stone. It's like a diamond, a little diamondy thing.
I don't know. Adrian said he's had one. I've heard kidney stones though are extremely painful.
I can't imagine the pain. Me and Jed have a friend who's got gout, which is also extremely painful. You can't really walk if you
Think you need more Zen.
What's that? Oh. Need More is awesome. Do you still use that? I think I sent a notebook maybe to Need More Zen. Yeah, but anyway, the pain you get when you mix gummy bears, soda, maybe a bag of chips.
Oh my gosh.
It's
worse than childbirth.
You're in the fetal position on the bathroom floor in a dry sweat wanting to rip your stomach out of your stomach, like the insides of your stomach. And I don't know.
No.
Oh, you get comments on the notebook all the time. Of course. Yeah, I'm glad you like
I
it.
agree with Sofa King. Why would you eat like that?
I am going to start eating healthier. I just have a hard time because Molly has explained to me that deli meats are bad for you, and that was my go-to food.
Yeah, but I say that you eating White Castle is way worse than eating deli meat. So, like, just because deli meat isn't the best option, like, yeah, like, there's other healthier options, it's way better than the crap you eat. So, if you eat deli meat, go ahead.
I will also just say,
Way better. Yeah, I had like a.
live every day like it's your last. And if it was your last day, would you want to have some gummy bears? Would you want to
It's
have
going to
some
be your
sour cream
last
and
day
onion
with high
chips?
cholesterol and all the other health issues, okay? So you have 2 little girls. You need to drive safe, not run over train tracks, and all the other things that you do that
Molly got
are.
mad at me today because we have a lot of train tracks by our house that, like, sometimes if you get caught behind them, it could be like a 45-minute banger. And you got to just sit there. And we had the baby in the car.
Tasteless even said I'm correct.
On which point? I don't
The
know.
point of, like, I don't know, all of it. Just life in general.
He's just trying to get on your good side.
No.
Well, anyway, the bars, I was like right at the middle of the intersection and the thing turned red.
You weren't at the intersection. The light came on, and I said, you then said you stopped, and you said I should have went through it, and I said you don't ever go through a train track when the thing is coming down. Like, why would you? Why would you try to outpace a train thing coming down? And there was a train accident back in New York in Westchester when we lived there where someone went through like that and her car got stuck and she
She
died.
stopped on the train tracks because there was traffic. There's a difference.
No, that she didn't stop on the track because
There's
there's
a
traffic.
difference. Well, there's multiple.
No,
like,
but
stories.
you could go through the track and then you get stuck for some reason. Like, you never know. Like, why would you run through the... And this is on the way home with the baby. This was on the way home from the hospital today with Scottie. Like, why would you even do that? Like, the things that run through your mind sometimes, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Exactly. No, yeah, no one, the person didn't purposely stop on the tracks. They went through the tracks when it was coming down.
I have to drink this because, like I said, by the way, it's hard to keep up with the comments. I'm super tired, so I don't have my brain functioning at full capacity. That's why I need Molly to pick me up.
I'm
a
not
little
throwing
bit
shade. He brought it up, and I'm clarifying what he said, and he brought it up. Like, he did it. That's the reality of the situation. Like, just stop at the tracks. That's the whole point of the thing going down.
Yeah, I guess. I want to be.
And also, like, that took, what, an extra 2 minutes of our life?
T. Gilly, get out of here.
Like, if something just takes you an extra 2 minutes over, like, something that's potentially dangerous with your newborn child, like, why would you even risk it? It's, like, so fucking stupid.
I'm sure there's something you have done, like try to speed up at a yellow light.
No, I'm, like,
You stop at every yellow light.
Yeah, like, yeah, I do. Like, I mean, I drive safe. I get mad when you text and drive. I don't think it's worth it. It's like, there's no point. There's so many people who get in accidents over those things that could easily be avoided for what? A text message that I could just wait to read? Was that text message so important? No, it wasn't. Because what would you think if you got in an accident and something happened? You would literally hate yourself forever. So, why? Okay? I'm going to get off my soapbox now. But all I'm saying is just, you have to be like, is it really worth it at the end of the day? No, it's not. You can tell me to be easy, but I'm emotional, and I just had a baby, and I'm just being real, okay? That's how I feel about the situation, and I can say what I want to say. It's YouTube, and it allows me to do that. Okay? All right.
We're going to edit all that out.
You can't edit.
Yeah,
this is a live video.
That's not going to make the air. So you could keep ranting if you want.
Okay,
But
well, it's already been seen.
that's the real Molly's mind for you. There's no mic drop. She didn't even say anything. Like, in all of that, I'm thinking right now of what she said, and I don't even know what she was talking about.
Be safe. when you're driving is essentially what I'm saying.
I will say that I consider myself a really good driver, and I think the first time I met Molly's dad, I crashed Molly's car. I think I've gotten in more accidents in Molly's car than she's probably gotten into. Although Molly did get into a car accident when she was younger,
Yeah, a couple days after I got my
a
license.
couple days after her license, so she's a lot more cautious about this stuff. I mean, obviously, it's very
Yeah,
sensitive
no,
subject and stuff,
yeah.
but I've never
But
really been in a traumatic car
I have
accident.
been in a car accident as a passenger where my brother got helicoptered away from it. And
He
I
still has a scar on his
was
head still to this
the
day.
only kid in my family who was walking away from that accident, not in an ambulance. I saw my dad like jump up into the helicopter, and like my mom was hurt. It was the most like
Traumatizing.
it was extremely traumatizing. And I think in general cars are very powerful, and I just don't think it's worth it. I mean, people lose their lives every day in cars, and I just when especially when our kids are in the car, I just am like I get so mad when I see you texting because I'm like was that even on a long road trip? Like it's just like did that text change your life? No. It was probably you just texting something stupid about food or something to Kyle. Like that didn't, like it's just not worth it. And it's even if you're a good driver, not everybody else
That's why I
is.
drive my horse to work. Don't horse and drive either.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying it's just in my
No, I
opinion
will
it's
say, and
just
I'll be
not
honest
worth
with you,
it.
it's because I've never, and this
That's not
happens.
a good reason.
I know, but
You
this is
have
like.
this mentality
Can you
of
let me
like
finish a sentence for a second?
it didn't happen to me, so like I can do
That's
it.
a lot of the times why it's like what happens with like Republicans. You see it with a lot of people that don't get affected by things because it's never really
Yeah.
happened to them. I need to be more
Yeah.
open and sensitive to it. Obviously, it's a very, you know, real subject and people lose their lives. And I'm trying to say that if you didn't freaking keep ranting
Yeah.
for 2 seconds.
Okay, well, I'm just saying because we always have this conversation. It's like like always repeat myself, but I just am even more like when I'm in your car or our kids are in your car, like don't do it.
Yeah, I will
Anyways,
be more cautious of it.
yeah, and if you learn anything from Kobe, like you just have to be like take every day, like why even risk driving? That made no sense. I'm
Yeah,
just
she said she
saying.
didn't want to come on air and talk about Kobe
No,
and then
because
just try
that's
to
all.
drop a Kobe quote on me. Like, you can't do that. It is true, though. You have to just, appreciate every single day. And, if you, I don't know, just never know with things and don't.
I know Kobe wasn't flying the helicopter. I'm just saying, like, you just have to be safe where you can. Like, you can't control everything around you, but there's things you can control.
Do you get mad if
No,
I'm
I
eating while
don't get
driving?
mad if you're eating while you're
She
driving.
won't let me have White Castle, though, like, while we're in the car
While I'm in the
together.
car. While, like, pregnant. Like, the smell is terrible. It's, like, nauseating.
And last time I went to White Castle, I think I got 7 burgers. It was a light day. And I said, no cheese, no pickles, no onions. And then they repeated my order back to me and said, no cheese, no pickles. No cheese, no onions, extra pickles. And I said, and then they corrected it. They said, oh, no, sorry. You said no pickles. Go to the window, get my 7 burgers, extra ketchup on it, extra pickles on there.
I would have loved it. I love pickles. I don't like White Castle, but I love pickles.
So pickles, for people who don't know, on a small White Castle burger pretty much take up the whole burger, and if they're putting extra pickles, that's 3. Normally I think they put 1 to 2. And even if you take them off, there's still a lot of pickle residue that sits on the burger.
Last questions because I gotta feed the baby.
Yeah, do you have any questions for Molly and the baby? I don't know, were there any questions? What is the we have what is the most amount of burgers I think someone
What don't you like, Sam? I'm curious.
I had 10 burgers. I don't think I'm going to do the Jesse Lee Peterson show. His producer was really pushing me to do it. But I've spoken to a lot of people. I really don't think I'd be affected by what Jesse Lee Peterson says. I don't get his whole, like, shtick. I don't think his stuff is, like, like would bother me enough to like piss me off. I don't know. I don't think there's anything. I think it would be cool. I mean, he's got a huge platform for me to go on there and talk to him.
Oh, I already told you I don't think you should do it.
I know, but like
I don't think it's like.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think I'd be affected by anything he says.
Yeah, but it's like pointless. There's no. It's not like.
It could be
why.
funny just to like hear. Like,
It's
I'm
not.
just
Like,
curious
you-
to hear
like,
what he has to say.
I don't even want to talk about it anymore. That's my opinion. And by the way, I'm not being rude to Corn. We've already talked about it for multiple conversations, so I just don't want to talk about it anymore.
What did I eat at Chipotle? I think I probably got 2 years ago. I probably got a burrito. I started switching over to a bowl now.
Good luck, Amber, on trying for number 2. The next Molly's Mine. I always tell Corn, like, let's do Molly's Mine, but he never wants to do it. He always prioritizes the ones with me after all his other stuff. So he's gotta. We have a topic. We were gonna do it last weekend, but we didn't. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Back to the Jesse Lee thing. I think
What?
Because
Are you
people-
talking about it with me or with them? I don't want
with
to talk
them,
about
someone
it.
wrote it. We'll do another Molly's Mind. We're in Illinois also. College is going to be free soon, so I don't think we have to start saving up
That's
for
not
it.
a. We are.
You had any cheeseburger bobbies? It's around the. I've had Varsity in Atlanta, but never a cheeseburger bobby. And I heard Impossible Burgers are not that healthy for you.
They're not.
Because it's a lot of
Yeah, it's
like
just like processed.
processed materials
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Molly's up on all of that organic, and
I mean, not that I've been like eating great either, but
she did say the hospital quesadillas were pretty good. So if
Yeah.
anybody wants to have good hospital quesadillas,
go to our hospital.
Go to our
And they had
hospital.
really good lemon ice too.
lemon
So.
ice was pretty good.
Did you try it?
No,
Oh.
Kyle and Corin, not this week, but next week. I'm gonna see if maybe Kyle wants to come on my channel and talk about Kobe Bryant a little bit, just because that hit me pretty hard. And watching all of the TNT stuff on it and hearing stories from other athletes, it'd be cool to talk to Kyle about it because I know that was his real idol. I was a Kobe fan, but yeah, a lot of people have stories. Voter registration.
Yeah, that you're registered to vote in Illinois.
Oh yeah, I am. Is
Yeah.
bubbly I don't like that bubbly seltzer water. Anything else? Molly's mind is fed up.
No, I know I have to feed the baby.
White Claw seltzer. I've tried that. That's good.
Corin Judd said bubbly was good.
Oh, bubbly. Yeah, I think it's okay.
You just said it wasn't good.
I don't really even know.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long week.
Yeah.
And it should only get better. But
Yeah.
there is no catching up on sleep. So that never comes back. But no fantasy football. I had a cheeseburger
In the hospital.
in the hospital. I don't want a cheeseburger right now because that is what I had while I was missing my daughter's birth.
It's okay.
But I did end up getting some good pictures.
Yes.
Our
hospital food, I actually really enjoyed the quesadillas. I had them for every meal. I also had them for every meal with Nick's. And
best restaurant in Denver. We went to, in Boulder's got a lot of good restaurants. My cousin used to work at, what the hell was the name of it? Something Pig? Black Pig or something? Jed could probably chime in, but there's a lot of good restaurants in Boulder. He worked at Black Belly, and then he worked at Colton Gray, which is, I think, in Denver. But there's a Denver diner I went to with my sister.
I don't like that.
No? They had a good breakfast burrito.
They have a good donut spot.
But Denver also
What's
has
their donut spot in Denver?
Duck Donuts.
I don't know.
No, not Duck Donuts. Voodoo Donuts. They have a Voodoo Donuts also. I think it started in Portland that I went to. But their green chili is banging on their burritos out there.
All right.
Fuzzy tacos.
Sofa King, I didn't see what you said.
Where do we go to the taco? Torchy's Taco.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Texas.
Oh, my gosh. Torchy's Taco has
Their
the
quesadilla.
best.
Kiwi on pizza?
No. Torchy's Tacos has the best salsa. It's so good.
No, they're queso you like.
What did I say?
You said salsa.
Oh, queso.
See, we're both losing it.
We're both losing our minds. Kiwi on pizza. I don't even like kiwi regular. I do like Hawaiian pizza, pineapple, and ham on pizza, though.
I went to other... Yeah, I wasn't like a huge fan of Torchy's.
I liked their queso.
Jesse's producer reached out to me and asked if I would go on their show. I said I was, torn about it. I didn't know. I said I'd put a poll up. People wanted me to do it, but I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna do it. I'll wait till Rogan asks. Talk about how you beat me up.
What? When did I beat you up?
He didn't beat me. He's talking about in college when we fought, but I destroyed you.
Corn can't even. You didn't. Yeah.
Molly's a black belt, so
we put on the gear, and Corn was like doing chicken kicks, like way below the belt, like kicking me in the shins, which is like not.
It's almost that's what they do in UFC. You kick
I
your
don't
foot
do
like out like this.
UFC. Okay, I do karate, and you have to kick above the belt. So you were like kicking me like in the shins, like.
Well, I was doing UFC. There was no rules.
Do they wear all the gear in UFC?
No, they just
so
wear
then
like
what?
shorts.
So we weren't doing UFC. We were doing karate, where you wear gear.
I learned kata in my karate class.
Oh,
experience.
what color belt did you get to?
Orange, maybe.
Oh, good job.
All right, we're out of here. Scottie's out of here.
All right. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching. Be on the lookout. Molly put a little thing together for the new baby, so we'll post that. And I'll have a chat this Friday, and I'm going to talk to Adrew again. Adrew will come back on. It will be a 90s nostalgia episode. All right, peace out, everyone. Tasteless opinion. Peace out, my guy or girl. Later.